The story of Saint Peter of Luxembourg, Bishop of Metz.
Subscribe to our channel to receive more content like this.
Once upon a time in the 14th century, when kings ruled by divine right and cities were surrounded by stone walls, a boy was born who had everything this world could offer, and yet he chose to give it all up. This is the story of Saint Peter of Luxembourg, a noble by birth, but a saint by heart. Peter was born in 1369 into one of the most powerful families in Europe. His uncle was a cardinal. His family had wealth, titles, and influence. If Peter had wanted, he could have lived a life of luxury and ease. But from the time he was little, Peter was different. He didn't care about riches. He didn't crave comfort. Instead, he loved prayer. He loved silence. And he longed to live for something bigger than himself. At just 10 years old, Peter was sent to study in Paris. And even among the brightest students in one of the world's most famous cities, Peter stood out, not because he was loud or proud, but because he was gentle, humble, kind. While others were chasing success, Peter was chasing God. He fasted regularly. He slept on the floor. He gave away his food to the poor. And when someone asked him why, he simply said, "How could I eat in comfort when so many go hungry?" By the time he was a teenager, people began to take notice. Even his powerful uncle, Cardinal de Luxembourg, saw something special in Peter. He brought him closer into church service, first making him a canon, a sort of assistant in church matters. And not long after that, something amazing happened. At just 15 years old, Peter was named Bishop of Metz. That's right, 15. Most teens were just learning how to ride a horse or wield a sword. Peter was guiding an entire diocese, offering leadership to priests, caring for the poor, and tending to the spiritual needs of thousands. But power didn't change him. Fame didn't distract him. In fact, the more people looked up to him, the more Peter looked down in humility. He refused to wear expensive clothes. He continued to fast, often eating only once a day. He spent long hours in prayer, often late into the night, and he gave everything he could to the poor, even his bed. Some of his fellow clergy thought he was too extreme. Some worried he would burn out. But Peter wasn't trying to impress anyone. He wasn't chasing sainthood. He simply believed that if Christ gave everything for him, he should do the same in return. During a terrible famine in the city of Metz, Peter didn't hide away in comfort. He went straight into the streets, feeding the hungry, comforting the sick, and using every bit of church resources to help those in need. And when the plague broke out not long after, Peter was there again, at the bedsides of the dying, holding hands, praying, giving people hope. He was just a teenager, but he lived with the wisdom and courage of a saint. But such a life comes at a cost. His constant fasting, his long nights of prayer, his time among the sick, it all wore down his body. By the time he was just 21 years old, Peter fell gravely ill. People begged him to rest, to take medicine, to care for himself. But Peter, even in sickness, prayed only one thing: "Lord, let me suffer gladly for love of you." And on July 2nd, 1387, Peter of Luxembourg died, young in age but full in spirit. Not long after his death, miracles were reported near his tomb. People began to speak of the young bishop who lived like a saint, who gave everything to love God and serve others. In 1527, the Church officially declared him a saint. And today, St. Peter of Luxembourg is remembered, not because he ruled with might, but because he lived with mercy, not because he was powerful, but because he was faithful. Peter's story reminds us that holiness isn't about age or fame or title. It's about the daily choice to love deeply, to live humbly, and to give everything, even our pain, for the sake of others. You don't have to be rich or wise or old to make a difference. You just have to say yes, like Peter did.